Hello, everyone. Okay, so let's adjust the light, shall we? There we go. I think that's going to have to work. All right, so we are here for the second session of the Mind of My Mind slow read that we started yesterday. And I also got a microphone. So while I wait for people to come in, I'm going to see if I can set this up and use it today. We shall see if that is a thing that will be able to happen. But please get your writing. 11 people already. Hello. Please get your writing utensils in and your annotation stuff. Cool. Who is here? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Isis. Hi, Jersey Femme. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Danielle. Hi, Terry. Hey, Monique. Hi, Christina. Hello, Regina Renee. Hi, Gina. And hi, Nina. So, while we're waiting to get started, why don't you, even if you're not new, just as a start, like where are you from? Where are you reading from today? And also, what page are you on? So let's just get a sense of who's here, what page you're on, and where you're reading from. And hello, Jasmine. So I left off yesterday on page 38, I want to say. And so far I'm enjoying this. I mean, I'm not enjoying the story. Like, the story does not bring me joy. But I'm enjoying what Octavia Butler is doing to me. I'm enjoying what I'm like the reading experience, and I'm hoping that the tension and discomfort that I'm feeling as a result of this story is going to be reconciled at some point, because man, we're really getting some brutality. So I'm hoping that we will get some salvation at some point. So yeah, where are you at right now? Where in the world are you from? And what page are you on right now? So I'll wait a few moments. We're going to start at quarter after with our first sprint, which will be a 15-minute sprint just to get us started. I think what we did yesterday worked really well, where we did a 15-minute sprint, a 25-minute sprint, and then a 35-minute sprint, which was 75 minutes of reading time together, and that seemed to work, and it ended up being about 2 hours for the live show. So I'm seeing some things come in. So Monique, you're a newbie to the slow read, left off yesterday on chapter 1, and you're from New York. Hello, welcome back. Priscilla, reading from Texas, page 27. Awesome. Hi, Priscilla. Christina from Brazil, halfway through chapter 3. Awesome. Second day here, reading from Maryland. Hi, Terry. Finished chapter 2 yesterday, so 296 of the compilation. Okay, we're all reading different versions. Elizabeth Stillwell. So you're reading from Tennessee, starting chapter 4. Awesome. Nina, that box was hard to open. Nina, you're on page 41, reading from New Jersey. Cool. Then we've got Gina, New York, page 290. Awesome. Jasmine. And Gina, what chapter would that be? Because that's not what I'm reading a different version. So what chapter would that be? Oh, sorry. So Jasmine, you're reading from Oakland, just started the book today. Perfect. Second day, page 39, Geraldine. So Geraldine, you and I are like on par with our pages. Michelle, Washington, page 33, 185 from Cleveland. So where would that, oh, I actually have the bind up, so I don't actually need to ask you these questions. I could just look myself. So 185, that is wild seed. So that's not going to help me. I'm not sure which version are you reading. Starting where you left off at 32, and CO, is that Colorado? I don't know the abbreviations for all of the American states, so I apologize. Chapter 9. Okay, cool. All right, and so does 15 minutes look like a good starting place for folks? Okay, Colorado, great. 15 minutes, does that sound like a good... Okay, and chapter 4, Seth, Dana. Okay, I'm not there as yet. Okay, great. 47, finished chapter 2, Seattle. Perfect. All right. So do you have? We have a little bit of time before we start getting into the actual read, 5 or 6 minutes or so. So do you have any questions? Sorry, Priscilla, I'm not sure what you're saying yes to. I forgot the question I asked you. But do you have any questions right now? What are the questions that you're entering this reading session with? Questions for Octavia Butler, questions for other readers, questions of yourself? Do you have any musings and so on? Because Octavia E. Butler wrote so that we could be entertained, yes, but also wrote so that we could think, to read with an engaged mind. So are there any questions that are burning for you right now? And they can be thematic or they can be related to the actual story. For me, the question that I have is right now is, I have 2 questions. One is, how much will these women take from Doro? Like when will they reach the breaking point, right? Like what, at what point do we say none of this is justifiable? And then my other question is, if I had discovered at some point that I was one of Doro's experiments, what would I do with that? How would I, would I try to take his system down? Like, what would I do? I don't know. So that's a question that I'm starting with. And I think that question, what would I do if I were to discover that I was part of some breeding program? I mean, that question has me thinking about, if you extrapolate it, what do we do when we realize that we're part of a system that is out to harm us and that doesn't care at all about our well-being? I'm sure that is a circumstance that many of us, certainly those of us who are Black women, women of color, Indigenous women, have had that moment where we're just like, yeah, I'm part of something that does not exist for my well-being, right? I am being controlled. I am in a situation where I don't have as many options as I think that I deserve. What do I do with that? So that's a thought. Okay, so Jersey fam, and we're not here to answer them, just to think about them. My biggest question is, why is everyone in love with Doro? It's so gross. These are the questions. Yes, why is everyone so in love with Doro? It's like, is it Munchausen syndrome? No, it's that syndrome where you start believing that your captor cares for you. I'm not sure what that was, but after that happens, after you're in that context for some time, it starts feeling like, oh my gosh, this is actually potentially good for me, or I get used to it, or it's a way to survive, or harm reduction, right? So interesting question. I'm curious to see what Doro's plan is in regards to Mary and Carl's union. What does he hope to gain with this experiment? Yeah, and we learned pretty early on that Doro says, "I'm hoping that this will be the first pairing of two telepaths, because in the past, when people with those skills have come together, they have harmed each other." So, um, but in terms of the deeper meaning, right? So if they don't, what does that then mean for you, Doro? Does that mean that you'll stop? Right? Because he seems to have this insatiable need, right, to continue with his program. Priscilla, when are all the people surrounding Doro going to separate themselves from him or gain more independence? Yeah, an important question. And what would they need in order to do so? If I were in that situation, I was living on Emma's farm, or I was living in one of those seed neighborhoods, what would I need, right? And I wonder also about time, because he doesn't visit very often. So if I were to see him, twice or three times in my lifetime, would that be different from, being someone like Mary, who would see him more regularly? Stockholm syndrome. Thank you, Regina Renee. Munchausen. I don't even know what that is. Stockholm. Thanks, everyone. Um, thanks, y'all. On the Stockholm syndrome. Still hella gross. No, totally gross. That was not a but. That was an and, for sure. Terry, I'm curious to see how the new setup Mary has been thrown into will affect her as a strong-willed, rebellious type. Will it break her or make her stronger? Wonderful questions. Awesome. I am just going to step away because I'm looking, or maybe, no, let me see if I can. I'm looking for a plug. I will be right back. I think it's right here. I'm going to see if I can increase the sound quality. And just as an announcement, we're going to start in 2 minutes. But as an announcement, for those of you who weren't here yesterday, Isis, who is in the chat from Sister Sci-Fi, Isis is one of the 3 co-hosts of the Octavia E. Butler Slow Read, and she is the owner and founder of Sister Sci-Fi, who has these great Mind of My Mind t-shirts that you can buy on the website. So definitely, if you haven't already, check those out. Okay, so let me see if, first of all, can you still hear me? Is a question. Please let me know if you can still hear me. Let me know if you can still hear me. Okay, great. I think that the audio is better. Who knows? I'm still learning how to use this microphone, trying to make this a more pleasurable listening experience. Okay, so I know I'm a nerd. Okay, let me get to our 15-minute timer. Okay, and 15 minutes on the clock. Oh, no, not 15 seconds. Reset. 15 minutes. I'll share the screen. Okay, so you can see the timer there, and we will start reading for 15 minutes now. So enjoy your reading. See you in 15 minutes. All right, we're back. And so let's chat for a bit. That was our first 15-minute sprint. So please put in the chat what page you're now on and an affirmation. And the affirmation should be, so affirmations are statements that begin with I, that are set in the positive, like I am free, I am happy, I'm a great painter, I will survive this. So think about who the character is right now that you feel the most hopeful about, and then share an affirmation from their perspective. So for example, if I feel most hopeful right now about Emma, the affirmation would be, I can change this situation for the better. So it's a sentence written from the perspective of the character you feel the most hope for, written in the present, and it's a positive affirmation. So that is the way that I would like you to feedback on what you've read so far. So yes, Regina Renee, Isis is the best. I love that you said that, and I wanted to keep that up. Thank you for the clarification on Munchausen syndrome. That was not what I meant. So thanks for that. Isis, so you are in the middle of chapter 2, and the affirmation is I am powerful. And we don't even need, don't say who the character is, just share the page number that you're on, and then the affirmation that the character who you feel most hopeful about would say or could say. End of chapter 3, I am connected. I like that. I am connected. So Clay, page 195, I will survive. Page 36, I will thrive. End of the prologue, I am a nurturing, or I am nurturing. Page 304, almost at the end of chapter 3, I will survive. Chapter 2, page 289, I will make the most of my situation. 21%, I am strong, I will survive. Chapter 2, I will get my way. 49, I am resilient. Chapter 10, I will determine my own future. 37, I will overcome. Page 35, I am resourceful. Thank you for that. So this is an exercise that you can do while you're reading, and also if you're a member of a book club or anything like that. It's a way to learn from and engage with text creatively, but not to like share spoilers or plot, to sort of think about themes. And sometimes when you do that, you will be able to get some deeper insights as to what the author might have been trying to accomplish when she created the character that you are writing an affirmation about. So we're going to do more of those kinds of creative, interesting exercises. I hope you enjoyed that. Memory reframe, page 54, I know myself. And greetings, my written voice. Nice to see you. Page 40, I have my own mind. I like that. I like how you worked in the title, the mind of my mind. I have my own mind. My mind is not of your mind. I have my own mind. Okay. All right. So I'll wait a few minutes to see if there are any additional affirmations. And I'd also encourage you to watch the replay of this and use them for your journals, use them for anything you want. So yes, our next period of time will be 25 minutes. So I'm going to reset the timer, share the screen. All right, and we will begin 25 minutes of reading. Happy reading. See you in 25 minutes. Hi, everyone. We have just finished 25 minutes, our second of 3 sprints for the evening. And here's the exercise that we're going to do this time. I want you to take a look at the page that you've just finished or the excerpt that you've just finished listening to, and choose the character who is the most active right now, right? So sometimes there are characters that are passive because they're just around, or they're receiving things. Sometimes there are characters that are active because they're the ones that are doing the things. So choose the most active character and think of a gift that you would want to give them right now that you think would assist them on their journey. So right now, the most active character on the page that I'm reading is Mary. Mary is coming into an understanding of herself. And the gift that I want to give her right now is autonomy. And I'm on page 59 of Mind of My Mind. So that is the exercise. So what page are you on? And what is a gift that you want to give to the character who is most active right now, wherever you are in the book? I'm going to hydrate and very much looking forward to your thoughts. All right. I'm seeing answers. All right. All right. So the page 38, the gift is a giant knife. Yes, Bree. Or the gift of shielding her thoughts. Hi, Zoya Nila. Finished up a meeting. Now you can join. So glad to have you. Okay, so you're at the end of book 1, and the gift is humility. I like that. End of chapter 3, Mary needs aspirin and NyQuil. It's very practical, Terry. Very, very practical gifts. Okay, you're going to wait for a few more. So what page are you on? Think about the character who is most active right now. And what gift do you want to give them? Beginning of part 2, independence. Mary, the gift of choice. And so one of the things that came up in our discussion yesterday was Mary as the main character right now in the story. And someone made the comment, Mary is an interesting choice of a name for this character. And some of you may know that Octavia Butler studied religions. And for me, raised Catholic, when I hear the word Mary, I think of Mary, the Virgin Mary, Mary, the Mother of God. And in some religions, Mary is also the equivalent of an Orisha called Yemaya. So I'm just thinking about Mary as a choice of name, and Mary, basically having an angel appear to her and say that you're going to give birth to the Son of God. And I remember as a child, really, especially when I was around the age that Mary was, I remember as a child always wondering, like, why would that be? Like, how would I feel if an angel appeared to me I'm just like hanging out on my iPhone, and the angel's just like, hey, Njeri, just so that you know, there's a plan for you. This is what's going to happen. You are going to bear a very important child who's going to save the world. And so so it's interesting to think about Octavia Butler choosing the name Mary, knowing full well, because she didn't do anything, without being deliberate. She did this on purpose. So she chose for her main character to be called Mary. So just wanted to comment on that, because that's something that I've been reflecting on since our chat yesterday. So Michelle, page 49, Mary, comfort. Page 41, Mary, resiliency. And ooh, that makes sense. Yes. Okay, so we are going to enter into the last reading sprint for the evening. And just going, I don't have the schedule right in front of me, which I should have, but I want to say that I think I put 2 days. Did I do 2 days for part 1? Yeah, 2 sessions for part 1. So I'm on page 59, and I'm about to finish part 1. So I'm just wondering if you want to just have a conversation before we end this session. If you'd like to have a conversation at the end of this session about part 1, or if you would like to have a conversation the next session about the end of part 1 for those who are just starting, because I think there's a lot of value in just talking about what has happened in part 1. What does part 1 mean to us? Because part 2 might happen years late. Like I don't know when part 2 is going to begin. It might begin from a different perspective. It might begin 100 years later. Like, I don't know. So let's see what people want to do. Just finished chapter 2. You would give Mary the gift of self-love. Okay, so I did give it 3 days, okay, to finish part 1. Okay, so maybe on the 5th, maybe we won't do it tonight, but we'll do it on the next session. Yes, sounds great. All good. It's not selfish. You're putting your needs in the space, and that's what I asked for. It is not selfish. And you're also not alone. So we'll do it next time. Okay, so we'll chat. So next time, great. Perfect. Okay, I got you. Awesome. So we'll do it next time. Just please remind me next session that we should maybe start, before we start reading, we'll start with a discussion about like what happened in part 1. Okay. All right. So the next, you know what? I'm probably going to, I only have a few pages before we finish, before I finish part 1. So I'm going to just like read an interpretive work and see if in any of the interpretive works that I have on Octavia Butler, there's a mention of the Patternist series. So I'll probably do that because I don't want to get too far ahead. So we will do another 35 minutes. Oops, not 3 hours. 35 minutes, share screen. Okay, last sprint begins now. Happy reading. that is the end. Okay, so tardy as hell, but here. Hello. Hi. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, Musical Tati is one of the 3 co-hosts for the Octavia E. Butler Slow Read. So Isis is here, and so is Tatiana, which is amazing. So all 3 of us are here. And as I mentioned, we further along in the sessions, we will have guests. So there will be a time when all 3 of us will be reading together. So that's going to be fun. Coughing. Laughing. All the late people. Hello, people. Glad you made it. Introverted Black girl. Oh, you're welcome. Bye, Terry. See you on the 15th. Night, night. Hello. Amber, today got away, but you got the Friday read in your calendar. Good vibes. Awesome. Nice to see you, Amber Page. Everybody's saying hi to each other. I feel like I'm stalking y'all. Is it stalking when you're invited? I don't think so. All right, everyone. Okay, finally made it to page 59. So I finished part 1. I had an adventure in these past 35 minutes. So I finished part 1. So I am now at what page is it? 63. And I decided to stop reading because I want to let part 1 settle in my soul. And I wanted to think about what happened. Because I really like the way part 1 ends. So I want to spend the next almost week thinking about what I need and what I was given. So what Octavia E. Butler gave me in part 1 and why. Because like part 1 could have been its own novel, right? Like it could have been its own novel. And I'm very, very curious about like where we're going to go next. And I'm starting to see how important Mary is. And that is good for me. And I'm kind of thinking like if Mary of the Christian Bible, if Mary of the Christian Bible, of the Bible, is somehow related to or connected to this Mary here, then what does that mean, right? So I wanted to share something with you. After I finished part 1, I had about 25 minutes left on the slow read. So I picked up a book called Luminescent Threads, which is right here, Connections to Octavia Butler. And I read 2 short essays. One essay caught my eye because the title was very attractive. And the essay is called Disrespecting Octavia. And I was like, ooh, what's that going to be about? So I read that. And it's written by Njeri Canavan, who wrote or who studied Octavia's work and wrote this book, Octavia E. Butler. This is the Modern Masters of Science Fiction. So he wrote an essay in Luminescent Threads, and it was talking about how the literary estate of Octavia E. Butler has apparently said that they want to respect Octavia E. Butler's wishes and not release certain books that she wrote. And he went through a bunch of books that were unreleased. There's like a full novel, y'all. There's a full novel. There's some unfinished works. And he was like sort of urging us to read the things that she didn't necessarily want to be read. One of the things that he talked about was Survivor, which is available to us. The digital copy is available at Sista Sci-Fi for $10, so you can purchase your downloads. Survivor is one of the books in the Patternist series, but she didn't want it to be published. She was embarrassed by it. But Canavan says that Survivor is a very interesting story because it answers some questions in the Patternist series. So I'm glad that we are going to be able to read it and have access to that. But he's advocating for more of her unfinished and unpublished works, and for her completed works to be released so that we can access them. And then the second essay that I read was one written by Valjean Jeffers called something Wild Seed. And it provides a really good rundown of what happened in Wild Seed. So I think there was somebody in our discussion today who has not read Wild Seed. There's probably more than one of you. That very brief essay, it's only like 7 or 8 pages. That takes us through the entire novel. It gives you a really good synopsis. So the author of the essay is Valjean Jeffers, Valjeanne, Jeffers, Jeffers. And the book is called Luminescent Thread. So you can check that out if you're looking for like a Cliff's Cole's notes. It's actually going to be shorter than Cliff's or Cole's notes as well. All right, so we're going to be wrapping up shortly, just before the 2-hour mark. So we're doing good for time. I think let me know in the chat if this rhythm is good for you, the 15, 25, and 35-minute sprints interspersed by creative activities and discussion. Does that work for you? God, okay, you finished part 1, but only read about 15 of the minutes. It's all good. The end of part 1 was so good, I had to stop myself from going further. Same, Jersey fam. I love, okay, I guess the word, for those of you who have finished part 1 and got to the end of part 1, I know we're going to do this next session, but I just try to hold the feeling, whether it's writing it down or whatever, but hold the feeling that you have at the end of part 1, because I want to spend some time with that. I can't wait to read Survivor. It sounds so different from the rest of the series. Yes, apparently it is. You love the rhythm. That's great. The rhythm is working. You're taking it really slowly. That's what we're doing. It's slow and luxurious. We are not binge reading Octavia Butler. We are not drinking her like a coffee or a Coke or juice. We are drinking her like fine spirits, if you are so inclined, or like the most like pure, fruity, juicy, natural drink, right? You know, we're sipping, we're reflecting, we're letting her impact our souls, and then we're doing it together. So that is the whole idea of the slow and luxurious read. You're loving the pace. Okay, good. So good. And thank you, because I know it's hard to stop. You have to sort of force yourself to stop, but that's okay. We're strong people. Just stop and see what happens. And when I say see what happens, like, you know, think about the book, right? Put a reminder in your calendar or whatever to be like, oh, think about Mind of My Mind on Tuesday when you're not reading, and see what comes up. Watch your dreams. You do use use it as journal prompts, right? You stopped at the end of part 1 and this pace works for you. Okay, everyone. So I'll leave the chat open for a few minutes because I know there's a bit of a delay. But I want to thank you very much for participating in session 2 of the slow read. Hope to see you later. Also, what we're doing over on Instagram is if you have annotated pages, please take a picture of your annotated pages. Sorry, Tati, but it's a thing. And post them up on Instagram with the hashtag Read Octavia Slowly. I'll be doing that as well. And feel free to share your thoughts. Also, share how you're liking the slow slow read sessions. Are you enjoying them? What activities did we do today that you really liked? So we'll prompt you to do that over on Instagram. And I'm going to do a shameless self-plug, and that is I'm running a vision board workshop. It's going to take place on January 16th. It's called Our Destiny Among the Stars. Maybe I should find it and do what I do when I gas up other people. It's called Our Destiny Among the Stars. It's a vision board workshop, and it's inspired by the work of Octavia E. Butler. It will take place on January 16th. Let me just share the screen so that you can see it. So if you're interested in vision boarding, you'd like to try it out, or you're a vision boarder, this is it. So it's Our Destiny and Among the Stars, January 16th, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. EST. The early bird tickets are already sold. It's $150. So you'll be creating a 2021 vision board inspired by OEB, who showed us how to dream and create during difficult times. And I'll be sending out resources to help you reflect on 2020, to gather your materials, to prepare your vision board, and then we'll do exercises during the workshop. But at the end of the workshop, you'll have a completed vision board. And this is some of the process. And there's also a video that you can watch. It's on my channel, but it is sort of, you can only get to it if you follow the link. And that's where I tell you a little bit more about the process. So if you want to see that video and learn more about the workshop, just look for Our Destiny Among the Stars and head to Eventbrite. Check out the online events page. That will take you to the video that you can watch. So if you're interested, I would invite you to participate. Oh, you have registered, Isis. Yes, thank you very much. And yes, I am doing well and am celebrating as well with Chomi. So thank you for the comments. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for all these thank yous. I will just cycle through them, and then I will shut things off. So if you got to go, you got to go. But have a wonderful rest of your weekend and enjoy whatever reading you do between now and the next time I see you. You're welcome.